John Feinstein, the renowned sports columnist and author, died on Thursday in McLean, Virginia, at the age of 69, his brother confirmed to the Washington Post. The cause of death has not yet been disclosed. Feinstein is survived by his wife, Christine Feinstein, a former book editor whom he married in 2010. The couple has a daughter, Jane. He is also survived by 2 children from a previous marriage, a son named Danny and a daughter named Bridget. Who was John Feinstein? John Feinstein was a distinguished journalist and author, best known for his work as a full-time reporter for the Washington Post from 1977 to 1991. He also contributed as a commentator for major outlets like NPR, ESPN, and the Golf Channel. While he became widely recognized for his coverage of college basketball, Feinstein also covered a variety of sports, including golf, college football, and the Olympics. After leaving the Post, Feinstein continued his work as a contributing columnist and hosted satellite radio programs on Sirius XM. He remained active in journalism until his passing, covering the Atlantic 10 tournament in Washington just this week. Feinstein was a prolific author, writing 48 books, 23 of which made it to the New York Times bestseller list. His debut book, A Season on the Brink, which chronicled the 1985-86 Indiana University basketball season, spent 17 weeks at number 1 on the Times bestseller list. Following his death, fans and colleagues flooded X, formerly Twitter, with tributes honoring his legacy. R.I.P. John Feinstein. He'll always take up plenty of space on my bookshelves, one person wrote. Another expressed, R.I.P. John Feinstein. Good man. Great reporter/storyteller. Keen eye. Could get close to subjects while remaining fearlessly objective. Nobody worked harder. Nobody was more productive. A third person wrote, John Feinstein was your favorite sportswriter's favorite sportswriter. No matter your opinion of him, his politics, or views, it was undeniable that he was the most gifted sports writer of the last 50 years. His last words. Things change in life, Feinstein said. I'll move on. You guys will move on. Hopefully we'll stay in touch. The Washington Post database shows that John Feinstein wrote his first story for the newspaper in 1977. It was about college basketball. Feinstein also wrote a story about college basketball that ran in the Post on Thursday, the day he died. Between his first and last Post pieces, Feinstein went from a local D.C. reporter to a national powerhouse and back. He'd recently moved to Farmville, Virginia, but was back in town to cover the A-10 conference basketball tournament being held in the nation's capital when he died, and had already filed a preview piece for the event that ran earlier this week. As a young reporter at the Post, he was 21 years old when he filed his first story. Nothing sports-related was too small for Feinstein to cover. His clips file from his first year at the paper includes a profile of a Northern Virginia teenager hoping to make it on the junior girls tennis circuit and football game stories involving my alma mater, Falls Church High School. But within a decade, he'd begun cranking out hyper-reported, made-for-Father's Day blockbuster sports books, including A Season on the Brink and A Good Walk Spoiled, and was billing himself in all self-promotional materials as the best-selling sports writer. He's since been called some version of egotistical blowhard by more sports writers than any sports writer I'm aware of. He'd earned both designations. And man, did he work hard. For 1980's excess career-defining A Season on the Brink, Feinstein took a sabbatical from the Post and spent half a year embedded with Bobby Knight and the Indiana Hoosiers men's basketball team. Knight, who along with being a rotten human being was himself an egotistical blowhard of legendary proportions, had taken to Feinstein when the latter covered the former during the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. Knight, known for bullying media members into giving him only the coverage he wanted, allowed Feinstein unprecedented access to practices, players, and himself. The coach, nicknamed the General, apparently assumed the writer would pay him back by only printing the favorable stuff. But the author did his profession proud by showing enough of Knight's warts in the book that, according to Feinstein, the coach didn't speak to me for 8 years after its publication. A Season on the Brink ultimately sold more than 8 million copies. Even after the smash book, Feinstein continued to write for the Post, with a focus on national college hoops and golf. In the mid-1990s, he was part of one of the most star-studded sports sections in the history of newspapers, along with a gaggle of future national media figures including Tony Kornheiser, Michael Wilbon, and Christine Brennan. And he continued writing books. Lots and lots of books. His website says he's the author of 48 books, including 13 teen mysteries and 23 New York Times bestsellers. His last book, The Ancient Eight, College Football's Ivy League and the Game They Play Today, was published in November 2024. Most of my exposure to Feinstein for the last several years came from his radio gigs. He made weekly appearances on the Sports Junkies, a very popular and long-running morning zoo-type show on DC sports stalker WJFK. Feinstein had returned his focus to out-of-the-spotlight athletes in recent years. He'd disclosed on the station that his second marriage had broken up and he'd moved to Farmville, where he served as a writer-in-residence and basketball commentator at Longwood University, a school with a mid-major program. He'd previously done color commentary for the Navy football team, but only got attention on that job for cussing out a ref who he felt had wronged the midshipman during a 2005 tilt, and then quitting in a huff in 2011 after the Naval Academy left him out of a documentary on the Army-Navy game. Feinstein made his final appearance on the WJFK show in January, just one day after learning from station management that he was being cut loose after 12 years. Radio guys don't usually get a chance to say goodbye over the air after a firing, out of fear that dirty laundry and bitterness will spill out. But God bless the station for giving Feinstein a last spot, which allowed him to attend a sort of mini memorial for his own amazing career. His voice was a lot thinner than I remembered, and he was uncharacteristically downbeat and wistful throughout the 10-minute segment, and less boastful than usual, although he did mention a few times that he was the best thing about the station. As Feinstein would appreciate, I made it about myself as I listened. I thought about how I was a teen paperboy for the Post when Feinstein started his career, and how fast all that went by. Feinstein never seemed angry or bitter during the farewell, but hearing him sad made me sad for both of us. Feinstein wrote 48 books, 23 of which made the New York Times bestseller list, according to his website. His first book, A Season on the Brink, which chronicled the 1985-86 Indiana University basketball season, made him a household name and spent 17 weeks at number 1 on the Times bestsellers list. The book detailed the coaching methods of Bob Knight and was later turned into an ESPN film. He also wrote A Good Walk Spoiled, about a year on the PGA Tour in 1994-95, that was also a number 1 bestseller, as well as a critically acclaimed book on the Army-Navy football rivalry. He also wrote more than a dozen teen mystery books. Feinstein was honored with the Kurt Gowdy Media Award by the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013. He's also in the National Sportscasters and Sportswriters Hall of Fame. As we reflect on the remarkable life and legacy of John Feinstein, it's clear that his contributions to the world of sports journalism and literature will never be forgotten. His dedication to capturing the human stories behind the games inspired countless readers and left an indelible mark on the sports community. Thank you for joining us on this journey through his life and accomplishments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts and memories about John Feinstein in the comments below. Your support means a lot to us and helps us continue sharing stories like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.